So last time we talked, and I asked you about how you were liberated, and you mentioned that Russians came
Yeah,
on the tank. There was a woman.
yes.
Do you remember the date?
Oh, yes, January the 17th,
What year?
45.
And what were you thinking? What were you feeling?
When we saw them, we ran all to them, all the girls. We wanted to hug her and kiss her, but she didn't get off the tank. And she told us in Russian that we are free. So when they left, we were packed. I had my backpack. We all had our backpacks. We went out to the city, but we didn't know where to go. And for me, it was a strange city. So some Polish people told us where to go, where the Germans used to stay, and that's where we went. We went in, it was one room, and they had bunk beds on one side, and the other side was open, and a lot of people, we were 20 people in one room. We were 4 girls, somebody brought us a bed, a single bed. We all 4 slept in the single, 2 and 2. And then a woman came and had brought a bed too. So she was like on the wall. And that's where we were a couple days. I would say a couple weeks, because we knew that the war ended and we waited for people to come back. As a matter of fact, my concentration camp sister, her cousin came back with another friend and 2 brothers. And the 2 brothers were from my hometown. Their parents had a factory, a textile factory. So one day the Russian soldiers were raping the girls, and we heard the screaming. So when they came in, we decided to go back to Lodz. They were all from Lodz. And
what city is this in? That this is whole thing happening, where you were liberated. What city is this in?
Częstochowa.
Częstochowa.
Yeah, Częstochowa.
That's where the concentration. This is where the camp was.
Camp was. They had 3 factories. They ammunition factories.
And that's where you worked.
That's where I worked. I worked the one, and then I was sent to transferred to the other one. But they were all
ammunition.
Yeah.
And what was exactly your job?
My job, the first one, was to check the bullets, if they are damaged or whatever. The second one was weighing the bullets. They had, like, going around, we took out a part from it, and we put it in a carton and checked it. And one time, we did the last thing, that they decided to clean the barracks. So we didn't sleep days, and we didn't sleep nights, because we worked at night. And one machine grabbed in my finger. I pulled it out, and it was hanging. Anyway, they took me to the reformatory, and they cut it off. And it took a while, took months and months for it to heal.
But thank God your finger is good.
And my granddaughter put yesterday on red nail polish, which I don't like.
Well, you look very fancy.
Yeah, but I'm gonna wash it off.
So right now, you're telling me about the end of war.
Yeah.
And you went back to your hometown.
Yes.
Tell me more about your emotions.
My emotions were wonderful that we survived. because I think I mentioned what they did the night before. They took out the men. Whatever they did, they put them on a train. Once they were out of the city, they told them, get out. They needed for the soldiers, walk. They walked to Germany. Not everybody could walk so far. From Poland to Germany, walking in the winter, in January.
Horrendous. But
So,
that's men.
That was men. No, from the first camp were women and men. And matter of fact, I had a boyfriend the first camp. A boyfriend. He came over, he met me, he liked me, and he would come down at night when we worked at night, and we had a break, he would walk with me in the factory. And I remember I got sick, and again he brought me some bread with, I don't remember with what, maybe it was Keuschgeschmalz or whatever. Who knew then?
Right.
And then a group of women came from Sosnowiec, men and women, because Russia was coming.
Yeah.
Not Sosnowiec, Skarżysko. So there was also a factory of ammunition. So they brought some to us and some went to Germany. So when they brought in the people, we had a hall above the factory. We had to leave and go into the barracks and give them that. Anyway, the men needed women. You know for what? He couldn't get nothing with me. And so he got somebody and he did whatever he had to do. And I didn't care. Yes, no.
That's your boyfriend.
Yeah, a boyfriend. That was a
boy that liked you.
That liked me, and we were friendly. And they were also transferred. So whoever could stay in hiding themselves, they could. And who didn't, they went on the transport to Germany. I found out after the war, when I was married already, I came to Germany. I met a girl that we were in camp together, that he was shot on the way. But when I was liberated and we went down in the street, his brother and sister-in-law survived. So she said to me that he told them that if they'll see me, keep me in Częstochow until he'll come back. I told him that I'm going back to Lodz, and if he'll come back, he knows that I am from Lodz and he'll be able to find me. But
He never
came
made
back.
it.
No. So anyway, that was what when we couldn't, I told you that the train that was supposed to pick us up never came, and we went back to the barracks, and in the morning the Russians came in and liberated us, and then we went back home. When I remember, I walked over where I lived, just in one room, my mother,
Yes.
my father.
Before the ghetto.
Oh yeah, my father died when I was 9.5 years old. Anyway, I lived with my mother there before the ghetto. And I went into the janitor. And the first thing she asked me, her husband was the janitor. The first thing she asked me where my mother is. Gdzie jest mamusia? I told them the cemetery. And I said, can I go in? We had like two homes, not homes. It was one thing when you come in, it was divided. Homes were on the side, and I was on the second. Drugie podwórko. You know what the podwórko is?
Yes, I know. But,
Yeah.
Как подъезд, может быть? Okay.
Whatever. I wanted to go and at least look up and see. She said, don't go. Pick yourself up.
Подворотня in Russian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pick yourself up and go home.
Don't go.
No. So what I did, we were the four of us, the girls. I went to where I went to the school. Like I lived here, walking up here, and here was my school. I showed them where I went to school. And across from my school was a Jewish gymnasium for men. So I never went back there. And then I think I mentioned that we put a sign outside. It was a corner building, and they courtyards. You know, here you don't have courtyards, but in Poland, buildings were around, and you drove in, and there was a courtyard. You want to meet people, you go to the courtyard. I said, that's where I met my husband. Anyway, what did I
What
wanna-
year did you meet your husband?
45, I think in June, when they came back from Auschwitz.
He was in Auschwitz, your husband.
Yeah,
Did he have
With
a
his-
number?
no.
Thank God.
See, because they liquidated the ghetto in 1945, 44, August. So when they came to Auschwitz, they didn't number them. They didn't tattoo them. So he didn't have. And he came back with his brother. He went back to Auschwitz because he had a hole in the back with pus and lice, and he was sick. And his brother had a frozen hand. And the older brother, so my husband was the middle one. He said that, what's the difference where I'm going to die? If I'll die here, I'll die in Auschwitz. So the older one didn't want to go back to Auschwitz. My husband went back to Auschwitz.
What does this mean he went back? I don't understand.
From wherever they were, in whichever camp they were.
After the end of the war.
No, during the war, working for the Germans. Working in snow with their feet wrapped around with rags. And like what they did, they took a tall man and a short man, they gave him the tracks, the train tracks to carry. So of course the weight went down on the shorter guy. My husband was the shorter guy so that's what he said to his brother. What's the difference where I'm gonna die? If I'll die here, I'll die in Auschwitz. So they went back to Auschwitz. They were in Germany. Auschwitz was in Poland. But Auschwitz was closed already, so they threw him into barracks. My husband got typhus fever, survived that. So my husband and his younger brother came back to Lodz, where I said we had an extra bedroom. Let's let them live there.
1 second.